I have arrived here today to talk about Eminem's latest album, The Death of Slim Shady. I'm Leah Dubs, and I'm a writer. That's it. Eminem just released The Death of Slim Shady a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I don't know how long ago, but he just released an album, and tonight I'm gonna just talk about what I loved about it. And what I loved about it was the concept of duality, and the story that it tells is an inspiring one. It is a beautiful one, and it is also a very philosophical one. It reminds me of another concept from a very well-respected philosopher, Carl Jung. One of Jung's things is he talks about the shadow within us all and how important it is that we incorporate this shadow to become a complete, emotionally healthy individual. This album feels like the final battle between these two characters, Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers, who've been kind of going at it his entire career. This moment is sort of a marrying of the two personalities. I'm not really sure how it ended. I have some ideas on how it ended, which I will share. This album is telling the story of that battle. I thought it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was super dark and spooky. I'm really feeling the spooky Halloween vibes. I think that matches together well with this theme. His bars were immaculate, and I heard a criticism that the album sounded recycled. And if you're Eminem, recycled means that the bars were immaculate. So I'm just want to go through the album and just try to recreate this story and talk through some of the best parts of the album for me. The very first track, Renaissance, the first sound you hear is spitting. And so it sets the tone for this offensiveness that we're used to from Eminem that we hadn't seen in a long time since before this album came out. He also makes it a point to call out his haters and direct his venom at this group of people. Slim Shady is hurling insults at people that have hurt him. He's aggravating his haters by being super offensive, airing out people's dirty laundry. I mean, this is someone who is not going down without a fight. Any wrongdoing, any ail in his life, he is just there dealing with it in a very primitive, lashing out kind of way. The next track, Habits, in comes the character Slim Shady. Slim Shady is forcing Marshall to take some sort of drug. It is no secret that Eminem has struggled with addiction throughout his career. He has rapped up a lot about it in his music. This shadow of Marshall Mathers is fueled by his addictions. In trouble, Slim Shady now forces Marshall to take alcohol. This beast is getting stirred up. He's got drugs, he's got alcohol. The offensive level rises. The insults are so outrageous that you have to sort of wonder if he actually feels this way or that he is just being offensive on purpose to piss people off because he thinks it's funny. And even throughout the entire album, I mean, he's making jokes about it. He's giggling a lot in places where in normal conversations and normal situations you would not be giggling. This Slim Shady character rapper is truly a joker. He is having fun being an antagonist. Slim also says to Marshall, when are you going to realize that we fucking need each other? It gets a little interesting here because Slim probably thinks he's doing a good thing. He's trying to convince him that they need each other. Track number 4, Brand New Dance. Yeah, I feel the funky beat. But I will never ever dance to that song in the street. This is one of the things that I really do like about the Slim Shady character is that he has a way of making you like his offensiveness. It makes you feel. That is good art. Good art makes you feel. The song is good. There's galloping in the background. I mean, but you like it? It's funky. He's pulling out that duality within ourselves too. As a listener, you are also have these feelings of, I know that's not really funny, but I like it. And to me, Marshall is the second half of that. He is that person, just this concept of duality and having a shadow, a good guy and a bad guy that lies within each of us. He's the one that's like, oh, Slim, yuck. And he's even had moments within the album where he's pushing back on these things that Slim Shady is saying. One of my favorite things about this song is it was very nostalgic. It was just classic Slim being outrageously offensive with a little bit of humor. I didn't say it was funny. I didn't say I laughed. I did laugh. It had the humor element to it. And now in Evil, this was probably my favorite song on the album. So spooky. It's a very evil sounding song. One of the bars that I liked in that song is he said something to the effect of, if y'all fanatics, maybe I'm your habit. So there's a lot going on. It's the duality between Marshall and Slim Shady. There's the haters and himself. It is this point that he's bringing up that I'm the one who is you guys are addicted to, even though you are claiming that you may hate me. I should stop here and talk a little bit about the Marshall Mathers character rapper. It's a lot of people. It's Eminem, it's Marshall, and it's Slim. I don't know how the order goes, but for this video, Eminem is the maestro, the person we don't know that we're not gonna talk about. Marshall and Slim are the character rappers in this story that he's telling about how they interact with each other. The Marshall character rapper is a good guy, or at least he feels he's a good guy. He wants to do the right thing. He's trying to get clean. He's trying to stay clean. It is a struggle for him. It's this back and forth. He seems like he is a tortured soul in a lot of ways because of the Slim Shady character. And it's less about, being out of his mind and more about just him dealing with himself and all the things that he's been through. That's the Marshall Mathers character rapper. This next skit, I think, was an important part of the album because you hear that Slim sounds hurt when he's saying, how could you do this to me? I gave you everything. I provided you everything. So now he's showing even a different side within him. He feels like he was owed because he feels he provided everything Marshall needed to become this mega star. And I don't know. He's not really wrong. He says things like, I made you. You were nothing till you found me. And then he then mentions, I'm all you got. Now, I would say the next 5 songs, it feels like a nice marrying of Slim and Marshall. Slim Shady has definitely still taken the wheel with this style of storylining. He's still punching down a lot, still a lot of humor. I think my favorite song for bars is Antichrist. I love that song, especially the second verse, that knock knock joke. I mean, classic Slim Shady, funny. This cluster of songs that I'm describing sort of feels like the rave part of a drug or alcohol binge, whatever vice that you're participating in, when you're indulging in that, eating a fucking piece of cake. And everything's going down good and the party's going before all the regrets set in. This is what these 5 songs feel like. So at the beginning of Road Rage, Slim, who has already taken the wheel at this point, is now dyeing his hair. So he's feeling like he's consuming Marshall more and more and getting what he wants. And great music is coming out of it. There is something about Slim that is important for Marshall Mathers. There's something about this relationship between the both of them. Both of them have to be together for it to be the best music, the most enjoyable music, the music that reaches people the most is from this relationship. One other thing I like is that he says, trust me, I know what I'm doing. This bad character is showing just a little bit of noble qualities, using words like trust, talking about things like betrayal, but he's supposedly this monster. Again, there's a lot of just to uncover, just things that you think about as you're listening. And I like that this album really makes you think. At this point, I don't think that Marshall Mathers could have made this album as good as it was without Slim. Slim's the one with all the bravery. He's the one with all the confidence. He's the one with all the know-how. He is that spark, even though he is offensive. That is what is in Marshall Mathers to express. And maybe he's not always happy about it. But if you think about it, if what is in you to express is Sasha Fierce and you're sassy and you're fine and you're rich, everybody goes, yes. But if what is in you to express, for some reason, you're just a dark, tortured soul, and all you can think to make out of a bar is some crazy mayhem and sadness and depression, then everybody's like, you are a bad person. And is it really fair? It's something worth exploring. This is what I love about art. This is what I love about art because it is such a free way for us to figure shit out about ourselves, to understand others. Houdini, I love that song too. Very nostalgic. I just had to say that. And I love the music video. Track number 12, the breaking news skit. Now these two are coming to a head and it goes right into Guilty Conscience 2, which is a part 2 for Guilty Conscience 1. And it is classic good guy, bad guy, or the devil on your shoulder and the angel on your shoulder having these conversations. The angel would be Marshall in this case. The devil would, of course, be Slim Shady. In the end, Marshall unalivens Slim. Then the tone of the album changes. It changes and it feels way more toned down. He's doing his flexing thing. I think it's great music because I think Eminem is a master lyricist. It's all good music. It's such good quality. I cannot write bars like that. So I will never say that it is anything less than excellent. It's good, but flexing is not what Eminem does best. What he does best is Slim. I love that he did something for Haley. I love that he's always expressing his love and his care for her. Before that, I went out of order really quick, but Head Honcho, I love the Tagalog rap too. And I learned something because I had to Google what language that was. And then you had Bad One. That one was dope. I don't believe every single song on this album was produced by Dr. Dre, but I wonder if that one was. But if I had to guess, that one was one of them. And I wonder if I'm right because it did sound a little Dr. Dre-ish, a lot Dr. Dre-ish. And then of course, Toby was super dope. That music video I loved. I've seen that music video like 10 times. Finally, there's the last little skit and we hear Slim Shady. He's mumbling a little bit, kind of dragging his feet. He is disoriented because he starts talking right away, repeating what he said at the very beginning of the album. He says, I've been waiting a long time for this. And then he realizes that he's talking to himself. He goes, oh, everybody left me again, all sad and pathetic sounding. He's making jokes that aren't quite landing. So I might be reaching on this one. Okay, maybe, but go ahead. I'm gonna reach. Slim also needs Marshall. And what's interesting to me is that Slim is the one who is saying, yes, us, we, Marshall, we. He's sort of the down one. He's like ride or die. And Marshall's like apparently created him, used him up, and then stomped on him. And even in this case, used him up for an album and then unalivened him. Left his homeboy again when the music was dope. This new Slim is pathetic. He's not really powerful and scary or anything like that. I mean, obviously, he just survived an assassination attempt. But aside from that, he's dejected. His jokes aren't funny. So they do need each other in the end. The album ends after this dejected Slim Shady walks off, mumbling to himself. The album ends with this very reverent, very heartfelt song, Somebody Save Me. It's very telling to this overall theme at the end of the day. And I know I've experienced this myself, and I'm sure others have too, when you're fighting your demons. And I mean, do you really ever defeat them. And this sentiment that is just so at the mercy of the people that matter to him the most, which seems to be his children. I love that ending, that idea that, when it's all said and done, it's really just you are your biggest enemy, and it is the fight between you, your higher self, and your lower self that sort of makes up your story somehow. I absolutely loved this album. There are a good number of people who did not. He was so explicit about how the haters would behave about this album that I thought, no way are people going to read this script that he just wrote for them. And it seems like a lot of people are. The hate is just pretty much more of the same as it's always been. Maybe that's a good thing for his career, because it seems to be something that fuels him. I'm not sure how Eminem, the top guy, feels about it, but the music is dope. I still have not worked out an outro. I wasn't ready. I'm never ready for the outro. I'll just say that thank you guys so much for watching, and for the people who are subscribing right now. That is the best way to support what I'm doing. Please like these videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Get in the comments. Let's chat about some of the things you liked about the album. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye and namaste.